Good evening, Hriday. Yeah,
A very warm welcome, Paulo, my dear friend, the executive director of South Asia Democratic Forum, and of course, like a mentor to lot many researchers from across South Asia. So, Paulo, I welcome you for this late night talk, and also giving me the opportunity to moderate you. I think you have been moderating many prominent experts like over the many years. So today, I think we would be speaking on a very important issue, like very important, pertinent issue, like related to our own institution, like related which has caused a panic within the team. However, I should say we are trying to transform the panic into an opportunity. Like I should let everyone know here. Recently, very recently, our website was hacked by a brute application of cyber force from different directions. And before I share my thoughts, I would encourage Paulo to speak on that, like what had happened, how it happened, and how do you think we would be proceeding here on. So, Paulo, please go ahead.
well, thank you so much, Hriday, for this introduction. Thank you so much for all the friends and associates of SADF that already spoke to me and gave their solidarity to SADF in front of this attempt to silence a voice that is obviously very uncomfortable for some major players in South Asia. This was an attack. I mean, this is an attack because it started nearly a month ago. It didn't stop yet. We had days of a million, a million attempts to penetrate for destroying both South Asia Democratic Forum and Alliance to Renew Cooperation Among Humankind websites. And they are coming from all over the world. I mean, in the top 10, the country where there are most of the attacks are coming is actually China, from several areas, from Hong Kong to many places in China. Russia is number two. But then, you have a plethora of other places nearly all over the world within the European Union. Uh, well, in the top 10, you can find the Seychelles. I mean, actually, we never wrote about the Seychelles. I never visited. I'm sure it's a very nice country. So, what I would like to say is that to all of those who have contributed to the hundreds and hundreds of publications, of debates, I would like to tell you that we will rebuild the website. It will be standing again. It's going to be a lapse of time. It's going to be difficult, but we will do it. But we are facing something that is most likely a state sponsored cyber attack to finish, to uh, completely silence us. It's not the first attack, it's not the first cyber attack. We had many others. We had to change our um, um, locations for our websites several times. Now they were in Berlin. They have been in many other places, and we will do what is necessary to protect it. And this is a call as well. We made a criminal complaint to the German authorities, to the Belgian authorities. We asked the European Union their opinion. They said they had none. Okay. But we are not going to stand still. We are moving. I am already publishing in Substack, and we will continue with our values, with our strengths, to the defense of the humanitarian cause in South Asia.
I would like to little ask you some straight questions. Could you very briefly and right to the point point, explain what was the attack all about? How did it happen? When did it happen?
Well,
We have already report, but
it's
I would still encourage you.
no, it's the report. The technical report is very precise. It started 8 minutes after midnight on February the 16th. It was very precise to the minute, and it's called in cyber language. I mean, I have no expertise in no cyber expertise, so for me, all of this is a bit out of my area. But I was explained. It's called a brute force attack when you are actually experiencing all possible keys. And if you have millions and millions of attempts, you eventually get there to invade and to destroy the whole of our work. That's the issue. But South Asia Democratic Forum, we have hundreds and hundreds of very important and very unique research elements on South Asia. We have been working mostly in Bangladesh lately. Bangladesh was seen correctly for quite some time by us as the next target of this campaign to destroy democracy and stability in South Asia, and that was done. Um, the attacks were coming. It was not only the cyber attack was the last one, because the before last, was an attack made by several groups pretending to be journalists and NGOs. Well, coming being financed by always the same Cayman Islands funds that are known as the Open Society funds. And the last attack was really very, very harsh. It was, it addressed all of those who were in the board of advisors, not all, but a lot of them, on the board of advisors, intimidating them to leave SADF, the companies that were supporting SADF, intimidating them. I was intimidated, in a photograph together with a former member of the Parliament of Iraq, with whom I worked a lot and on whose assassination. He was assassinated within the Iraqi Parliament. It was perhaps the most famous assassination in Iraq, and I was put in a photograph with him, on SADF. I mean, he was assassinated many years before SADF started to exist, but there
I
was a
would like to.
photograph of me with him. A clear attempt to intimidate me. Yes, please.
You had mentioned state and non-state actors perpetuating the attack, and you rightly got the term correct. It is called brute force attack, like in cybersecurity domain. Now, state and non-state actor, how do you derive your assumptions or facts, where the attacks have come from? So, how can you possibly pinpoint there are both state and non-state actors involved in the whole process?
That was the opinion of one of the most important international companies that is dealing with these sort of issues. I mean, you can have attacks that have a commercial purpose. There was no commercial purpose, because we
I mean,
we have
this only
no no no
highlights the
one no
point
one
that we
asked
were
us for money, and the dimension of the attack is an organization that exists all over the world. I mean, it's not compatible. It's like yesterday, Elon Musk immediately said that it was an attack uh, from a state sponsored origin or a very global organization. It's possible as well. But I have to say that Twitter has not been attacked like we have been. That, and this is clearly a point. I mean, how and why was what we write being seen as so dangerous for some people? That's the big question.
I would still like to share some points, some internet. I mean, some ISPs, internet service providers, had come from China as well as Russia, and also uh, some other countries, mainly from China and to an extent Hong Kong, uh, Russia to an limited extent, limited, and also another one coming from Seychelles, a small island in Africa, I believe. It's not an island; it's a country, of course. So, I mean, I don't understand what's the correlation of such attacks coming from many different points,
Well, you see, the
whereas the activities
technology,
we have been
exactly.
focusing on.
Technology evolved immensely. The last time that our websites were destroyed, the one of Archimankind was completely destroyed, was in 2014, and it was easy to see, because they left messages. It was the Syrian informatic army, and it was coming from Tehran. It was because we had been publishing a lot of very important analysis on what was going on in Syria. And the day we published it, the 30th of October 2014, it was hacked, and it was clear. I mean, it was from Tehran. And 4 years later, I saw the result of it. The Russian diplomat in the United Nations that was explaining that no way Arch Humankind would be admitted in as an observer in the United Nations, because these were the ones who dared to attack our dearest Assad, president of Syria. So it was very, very clear. Now, the technology evolved
Again,
enormously. So the fact that the Chinese circuits, because the Chinese circuits, of course, there is a lot of criminality there. There is a lot of state meddling, of course. China has been investigated for a lot of attacks all over the world, especially in the United States. But I was explained by the experts. I mean, I know nothing about it. That this does not mean it was China. I mean, it might have been from wherever. It's possible, to be in the United States and to command, simultaneous attacks from nearly all over the world with IPs from all over the world that change, within an hour. When I was explained that, I said, I can't believe that, but I was explained that. So it was. We should stick to facts, Riley. We should not jump to conclusions, and we should look at
even
facts.
even the facts point towards some points of origin of the attacks were from inside Europe. I mean, again, I do have a understanding, like if many of our audience like have been following SADF. So I've been writing on digital matters, and I personally have an understanding of the digital technologies. But this whole puzzle game, like attacks coming in from Seychelles, China, Hong Kong, within Europe, like this confuses everyone, including myself. And now the thing is, like we have been focusing, like our activities have been focusing exclusively on South Asia affairs, or primarily on South Asia affairs, where we have also tried to connect with other regions and countries, including such as Israel, etc. What makes non-South Asian actors get into South Asian affairs involved in such a fashion? Like, what do you
Well,
think? Like,
as we are,
prompts
as we
them
are,
to
yeah, as we are winding up, because we have just 2 or 3 minutes more in front of us.
yes. And
Um,
last
you
quick
know,
point,
uh,
Paulo,
this
you
is a this
I
is an.
allow me
I
to
mean,
just
people do not understand, but South Asia is the biggest region in the world. Bangladesh is one of the
very
biggest
agree,
countries in the world, and it
very
has an
agree.
importance for all over the world. Of course, it is the jihad that wants to destroy India and the whole of
Yes,
the South
yes.
Asia is obviously the one that is very committed. But with money, you get everywhere, and you get complicities all over the world. It's the recipe is simple. Money talks an universal language. I'm not listening to you.
Oh, sorry. I think I got my mic muted.
Yeah.
So what I was saying, we had just recently started this late night show. It's late night. I am in India right now, Delhi and New Delhi, and it's late evening, Paulo's side. So we will have to continue with this discussion, and importantly, I should say the research reports are all intact. They have not been destroyed. The knowledge remains intact. The website has been brought down. We will be putting this up, like the website, in a renovated manner in the coming time. There we will be definitely taking some time to get back, but in the meanwhile, expect more of such late evening talks and all our activities, primarily podcasts, even reports, etc., to be published as usual. And lastly, I should say, like, we would encourage researchers, experts, even policymakers or policy influencers from across the world to get interested on South Asian affairs. And if you're looking to connect with us, feel free, drop in an email. The email should be listed in our LinkedIn site or even in Facebook, in our social media sites. So please do connect with us. We look forward to engaging with you, and good night, good
Thank you
evening.
very much, Hriday. Thank you very much for all of those that have been making this possible. It was a pleasure being with you. Um, uh, all the best to Delhi, to India. I've
Thank
never
you.
not been there for a long time, but you are always in my heart, whatever happens. And thank you very much for your support. And we shall overcome. We shall have
Definitely,
again SADF
definitely, definitely.
website and the enemies of freedom and democracy, they will not win. Thank you very
So
much.
we totally, the at least the core group of SADF, like which we have been like running over the years. So we are working on different matters. So this is just a passing phase, and we'll overcome it quite easily, I believe. The website will take some time to be restored. And in the meanwhile, as I said, please send across your contributions in the form of articles, reports, etc. And I personally would be joining Paulo and others like over such late night shows, talks, and see you. Thank you, Paulo. Bye from New
Thank you very
Delhi. Good night.
much. Good night.
And Tapas, thank you for organizing.
Okay. Okay.